I'm working with a cisgendered heterosexual married couple, white female, and Vietnamese American male. She's a pursuer and reports that she has always felt that she loves her husband more deeply than he loves her. He states that he isn't natural at those ways of showing love, as his family did not show love in those ways. And he feels pressure to match her intensity, but now thinks he will fail. I can't be her.
Yeah.
He feels unappreciated, and she feels unloved.
Yeah. Wow. Cultural differences. Amplify them, please, especially around how we each express emotion and how we hold each other's emotion. And so this is a huge leading edge for all of us, as we've already talked about, but especially around emotional expression, cultural differences, making space for and validating each partner's culture. And then how do they express emotion? And then very simply, you've heard us talk about this before. We always want withdrawers to know they don't have to feel as intensely or as deeply or as much as their pursuing partners feel. They will never be the same. And we want to educate both partners that is not our goal. We don't want this wife to think that her partner is going to feel and express that emotion in any way similar to a person from a different culture pursuer. It's not, they don't have to express the same or equal levels of intensity or depth or duration or frequency to still have a bond. But a lot of pursuers, I used to be one of them in my early 20s, thinking I needed to find a partner who expressed their emotion as deeply as I did. And then I had a therapist say, that doesn't seem like it would go well.
Right.
We need to educate both partners that he gets to express his emotion in the way that his body comfortably and naturally does, even though he's probably stayed away from befriending his inner world. He's going to need our help in befriending his inner world, but culturally sensitive. How does he make friends with his intrapsychic experience? And we don't ask him to, and we don't expect to, and we don't let his partner think that he should be able to express his emotion devoid of his cultural influence, heritage, ethnicity, race.
So let me see. So what you're saying is a couple things. One is that the goal isn't to make him more like her.
Exactly. Well said.
And we pursuers in general, me too, right? Like I totally relate, right? I used to try to make everyone a little bit more like me. And the closer they got, the closer we were. But that's not how relationships work, right?
Right.
Yeah. So in this case, the pursuer has to sort of shift how she experiences and codes his expressions of love. Like she codes them as an absence of love. And that may be a myth because of her attachment style and because of her culture.
Exactly. All of us, we have to watch out for our culturally related blind spots because we all code based on the cultures we were raised in.
Yeah.
But what we're learning to do is to slow our coding down and to be more curious and to check in and find the blind spots and talk about the blind spots.
Yes. We need to help her to slow her coding down. What she codes as not love, apathy, may not actually be that and isn't that. And then on his end, say one of his expressions of love is maybe bringing her coffee in the morning. I don't know, right? She didn't write that, so I'm adding that. But some kind of expression of love, like an act of service, maybe. As a therapist, do you help him put words to that?
Absolutely. I would need to, because as we know, behavioral expressions don't scratch the emotional itch.
Okay.
And so tell me the meaning you make. What is in your heart when you bring your partner coffee?
And then let her feel those words, help her to feel those words.
Ideally, I would have him enact those words.
Yeah.
I might have to conjecture a lot to get him to that place of something resonating on the inside. That's common with withdrawers. Turn and have him enact and feel what it feels like to say those words directly, find her eyes directly to her, and process the enactment with both of them. And then we have emotional attachment, longing language connected to a behavioral act that should change her coding of that behavior going forward.
Nice. It changes the coding. So it's not just this like hustle she has to do on the side, right? Like, okay, I've got to code this all on my own into like, it's something, again, they still do together.
They still do together. And each partner has to do their part to revise this coding as we're talking about it today. He has to do his part to find his words and to be maybe more vulnerable with words and affect than he's used to, because he might feel like the coffee bringing should be enough.
Right.
And it is a big something, but then without the emotional handles that he feels, and without him sharing those emotional experiences with her, she won't get the benefit of his emotional engagement with this act, this behavioral act.
For more hot tips on emotionally focused therapy, go to theeftcafe.com and sign up for our newsletter, where you will receive short little clips like the one you just watched.